Drawing eyes can be very, very fun. And depending on your art style, they can very much so define what type of artist you are. Let me give you an example. These are the types of eyes that I draw. I tend to make all the eyes that I draw very simplistic, but we'll get into more detailed eyes soon. I start off by drawing the eyelashes, which is, and for me, kind of just like a squiggle in some type of arch type motion. And then after that, I connect the sides of those lashes with a single line, a curved line, depending on how big it is, kind of dictates whether or not they look more innocent or more serious, or very serious or elderly or whatever the case may be. After that, I draw a circle inside of that shape for the iris, and then I draw a pupil inside of that iris, making sure that the light source is coming from, someplace. Sometimes I'll just stop on this section right here. This is what I do for Hammer, for instance. I don't really like drawing the iris or the pupil inside of Hammer unless, I don't know. That might change in the future, but I don't necessarily like doing it for, Hammer, but whatever. I'm getting on a tangent. If you want to make the eyes that you're drawing look a little bit more feminine, maybe you want to draw these eyes on a girl that you're trying to make look very, very pretty. Add a lot of eyelashes. You don't have to draw too many eyelashes, but if you draw some eyelashes on top of any of these types of eyes, it instantly transforms them and makes them look more feminine. These are types of eyes that I've seen inside of several different manga. Obviously, this is One Piece, this is Dragon Ball, Naruto, Detective Conan. There's several different types of eyes that you can see, and you can try to mimic them if you like. However, the reason why I'm putting this in the book is to show you that it doesn't really matter how you draw eyes. That really is one thing that can define your art style, the way you draw eyes. You can draw them in any way you want. As long as they look like they're supposed to look, like, that everybody knows that, hey, those are his eyes, then you're good. No, so let me see if I can break this down and show you. After, this is what I do. I always start off by drawing eyelashes. Then I draw the eye, and I draw a circle for the iris. Now, like I said, I usually stop right there, but if I want to make it look a little bit more detailed, I'll add a pupil. Now, this is how I draw pupils, and I do that for several reasons. The main reason is because it's just my art style. I find it to look really cool. However, if I wanted to draw in a different art style and have those eyes look a certain way, stop right there, or I can do that. That's an eye. You can draw Dragon Ball Z eyes. One Piece eyes. Add some shading. See what I'm saying? I mean, you can draw whatever type of eye you want. You can draw them as dots. You can, add a little thing right there. There you go. They're done. You can draw eyes in any way that you see fit. And to be honest with you, as long as you keep them consistent, I mean, you won't really have much of an issue with, letting everybody know, hey, this is, how my eyes are supposed to look. So, yeah. I don't know. Maybe that didn't make sense. I don't know. But hopefully you are getting what I'm trying to say. I'm kind of getting into this drawing right now, so I'm gonna add some shadowing. All right, I really like this. This looks cool. Anyway, like I said, you can draw eyes in any way you see fit. It really just kind of depends on if you have a method, if you have your own art style on how you draw eyes. I said this in a previous video, and I'm going to be getting into it later on in this course, but when you develop your own art style, what style actually is your shortcut to creating whatever you're trying to draw. So the reason why I draw eyes this way, like I said, it's, my art style, but it's also one of the quickest ways for me to draw eyes and convey whatever emotion that I'm trying to put on the face of whatever character I'm drawing. So keep that in mind. What is the easiest, most fun, and potentially quickest way for you to draw an eye? And that would be your art style. That is the way you draw eyes. So hopefully that helps. Hopefully you don't overthink it, because I don't think you should. I think you should just have fun. So have some fun and don't overthink it.